At the start of the 2015 Major League Baseball season, replay review was implemented. This gives each head coach of the 30 teams league-wide the ability to challenge calls that have a direct impact on the game. The most common use of replay review is to challenge the call of safe or out and the call of home run or base hit. This system is extremely flawed and unnecessary in the game of baseball, as it slows down the pace of the game, is inconsistent in its rulings, and demoralizes the power of the umpire. The average review takes between 4 and 5 minutes. The longest review has taken 12 minutes, and that happened this past June in a game between Detroit and Cincinnati. Baseball is already slow enough. The average game takes around 4 hours to play. Why is it necessary for us to slow this system down even more when we already have people that are getting paid to make these calls? Have you ever been at the ballpark when there was a review? As you know, it changes the tone significantly. If one team has momentum on their side and then the game is paused, this is taken away immediately and the pace of the game is slowed down. If it's for your team, the stadium will become excited. If it's against your team, it will become quiet and very down. Some people may argue that it's necessary to take the time in order to get the call right. But this isn't true, because since the start of replay review, calls have only been overturned 37% of the time. That's saying that umpires are still making the correct calls, and this system has no place in baseball. The system is flawed. There is no baseline between what is sufficient evidence or insufficient evidence. This is what is needed in order for an umpire to overturn a call that has been made on the field. The standard for each umpire is different, making the system very inconsistent. One umpire in one game might find the evidence there and overturn the ruling, where another umpire in a completely different game on another side of the country might find no sufficient evidence, keeping the call upheld. Until the system comes along with a baseline, there is no place for this in the game. Baseball has been played for over a century, and with umpires making the call. Human error is a factor, but that's been played throughout time, so why should it be changed now? And umpires are supposed to be the ones making the calls. In the past, if the call was wrong, yes, people become upset, and yes, it was a bummer that the team lost because of it, or it played a major role in how the game played out. But that's just been a part of the game. That's one obstacle that teams have had to overcome and deal with. If a call is overturned, the umpire that originally made the call has lost its credibility and cannot be trusted by fans and players for the rest of the game. For example, if there was a close call in the third inning of a game, the coach decides to review it, it gets overturned, that umpire may have another close call later on in the game, causing for the player to become upset with them or the coach to even use another challenge. However, coaches only get one challenge per game, meaning that they have to be very strategic in seeing if they have a chance of getting a call overturned or not. Many people might argue that umpires have blown many calls over the years, providing validation for a replay system. However, I believe these calls have been a part of the game and are a part of the culture of baseball. Why should we start to change this now? Why does instant replay have to become a part of a game that has been played for over a century, when, yes, it's been implemented into sports such as hockey and basketball, but baseball, there isn't a place for it in baseball. 2015 is not the right time for replay review to be implemented in Major League Baseball. Until it can be done in a timely manner with a consistency that spans across the league, replay review has no spot in baseball. Umpires have been making the calls since the beginning of the game. Why do they need assistance now? Technology is evolving and it will have its place in baseball eventually, but now is not the time.